Well, today, guys, this is a chilled episode of the Anxiety Diary podcast. It is what it says. It never used to be like this. And I'm going to open a can of lager and let's get on with this episode. Now, the reason for doing today's episode was pretty much I got pissed off with a lot of things. And it's probably not the right thing to start a podcast off with. But I was thinking a lot recently how people over the time have always just used me and just want me when it suits them, and how people say they're friends, but then it comes down to it that you get backstabbed and your use is now over with. And I sometimes think, well, why do I bother? But it is what it is. Life is what it is, and I don't think a lot of times you can change it. And a lot of people do use me as some sort of agony aunt. You know what I mean? They haven't spoken to me in a long time. They come to me and say, like, oh, I've got this problem, ask you for advice, but then go the other way. Or, you know, ask for advice, and then once you've gave them the advice, they don't talk to you again until they want some more subset of advice. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, come on. Like, I'm a human being, and I should deserve a lot more respect than that. Now, don't mind me, guys. I do have a Stella Artois, and I'm just going to drink it on stream. Well, I say on stream, live, so you know. So I thought I'd use this now, the Anxiety Diary podcast, to not only like hit subjects home, but also make this kind of like a personal thing, because I think, you know, it's okay to vent. It's okay to say you're not okay. And I think that's where a lot of people lack, where they don't feel like they can say anything. Hence why I use this medium. If I used any other medium, I guess I'd hit a lot of flack for doing so. Now, I want you to bear with me, because I guess sometimes you can ramble on a lot, and where I see a lot of this coming from is like the aspects of things that I do, people that I come in contact with, people that I've known for years, ex-girlfriends, things like that. You know, a lot of my pent-up anger is aimed towards people that have always treated me wrong and always used me as that some sort of like I say, an agony aunt that they've told me, say, secrets that, don't worry guys, any secrets anybody's ever told me will go to my grave and it will never be said unless, and I do say unless, you treat me wrong and I just let it go. Because at the end of the day, if somebody can treat you like shit, then sure as hell they get to treat the same. I'm not all about this whole secretive game anymore. Like, if people want to treat me like crap, then I'll treat them like crap. I'm fed up of being everybody's agony aunt and somebody people just go to when they want something or money or whatever, you know what I mean? Good old Stella Artois. Probably not the right thing to be drinking for this this podcast, but this is only one that I'm having today. I'm not a regular drinker because it does make me ill. If you've seen the podcast before and you've heard some of them, you'll know that I suffer with a bad liver. I also suffer with gallstones as well, so not as much, I might add. But yeah, so what I'm trying to get at the nitty-gritty is, like, I'm not going to be everyone's agony aunt anymore. I'm not going to be there for everyone if they're not going to be there for me. You know, I'm not here to be somebody's shoulder to cry on all the time. You know, because hell, I've got my own problems. I've got my own things going on in my life. I'm ill. And people don't see that. They, like, you watch me on YouTube, you only see a minuscule of my day. You see me on, like, the music. I make music. And you see me write posts on my website. Believe me, you only see a minuscule part of my life. Even the podcast, to some extent, is a minuscule part of my life. And none of you really see what goes on day in, day out. Like today, I got up at 10 o'clock, had breakfast. I was already half asleep half an hour after I got out of bed. And even after I had lunch, I felt rough. I felt like I was ready just to collapse. I was going dizzy. My ears were hurting. My head was hurting. I had a migraine. And people say, well, you look well enough. It doesn't look like you're ill. Yeah, people don't see that. People don't see the real long and short of what's going on in my life. And you know what? I don't really show that aspect of my life. Because I don't go out. Because, in case I have one of my dizzy spells, I have anxiety to the hill. And, like I say, people do not see that. They see, oh, he's just sitting in his bedroom at home. Yeah, of course, because I don't want to go outside and interact with people that cause drama. And actually, it's got to a point in my life now where I don't even want to do things online because people cause drama. And it's ridiculous. I get drama cells, right? And I've got this ongoing troll right now who's been trolling me for months because he was a flat earther and all this rubbish. And I'm sitting there going, do you know what? Haven't you got nothing else better to do in your life? Haven't you got anything better to do, like look after kids that you supposedly have? I mean, it's ridiculous. So, I'm not going to be anybody's agony aunt anymore. Screw it. Why should I? Why should I help people who aren't going to help me? And at the end of the day, if people haven't got... And this is another thing, right? You text people. And then you find out, oh, they've blocked you on Facebook. Or they've blocked you from communicating. And you've done nothing. You've literally done nothing. And I sit and think, well, I've wasted my time. I've wasted my time on that person. They came to me for advice. You gave them the advice. And all they ever did was bitch about somebody else. Bitch about other people. Bitch about how people are stuck up their own arse. And this is why, in a previous episode, if you go back in the diary of podcasts for this podcast, you will find the one for clearing out deadwood and friendships and companionships. I'm going to start practicing what I preach because other people have found my advice sound. And I think at the end of the day, and I think I'm going to burp in a minute, I may have to stop the recording, but there we go. Well, that was like a baby burp, a bit of colic and oh my goodness. That was bad. And it was like, I was sitting there for a good 5 minutes there trying to push that out. Oh my God. I did have a nice curry tonight, but anyway, going off on one. But look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to be somebody's agony aunt anymore. I'm not going to be anybody's agony aunt, no matter who you are, right? Okay, family and that is different. But sometimes people just take the piss. And I'm going to practice what I preach. And that is clearing out deadwood and keeping people at a minion. Hey! The destroyer of little girls' dreams. That's a line from Despicable Me too. So I'm going to keep it at a minimum, the negativity, because at the end of the day, I've had enough. But anybody, I want to make this clear, anybody that's said anything to me ever, bear this in mind. Don't need to worry as long as you don't piss me off. That's all you don't need to worry about. Because secrets, I'll take to my grave. I'll take them. But sure as hell, I'm gonna let them go if people don't stop pissing me off. But yeah, anyway, clearing out deadwood, clearing out life, that's what you need to do. And I did do an episode on it. It's in the previous podcast. And I hope in some way, you enjoy that. But it is what it is. Now, I do apologise for drinking while on this live stream. I keep calling it a live stream, but there we go. I think I do YouTube too much. And that's another thing making my life a load of a load of rubbish. But you never thought trying to do something different and trying to be different, you know, you wouldn't believe that it would cause so much trouble. And you wouldn't believe that. But it does. You know, there's always people on there that want to be better than each other. There's no one helping each other. There's always trying to get on top of each other, trying to copy each other, not being unique. You know, I took some advice from somebody not long ago, and that was that everyone can be a vlogger. Everyone. Everyone's a vlogger these days. But because everyone is one, you know, you're not going to get anywhere. Hence why I went down the different route of trying to piss people off. And I say that, but it's live reaction. About time travel and about bloody conspiracy theories and about certain other events. I mean, it's crazy. You know what, guys? On another thing as well, my life never used to be like this. Anxiety wasn't exactly 100% in the forethought of my mind ages ago. It was pretty much the case of I used to get on with life and I could, and I didn't worry about anybody. I just said, well, screw you. But now as I've got older, for some reason the anxiety has heightened to the point where I can't really control it anymore. And, you know, I don't go out anymore and things like that. But it never used to be like this. It never used to be like this. And I'm so in amazement. Like, I have to take tablets every day. I take propanolol and I take diazepam. I also take tramadol. And all in all, you know, it doesn't help. You know, tablets can only go so far anyway, right? But it's not always the case that you can get through it. And I hope one day that I can find some sort of way of dealing with this anxiety. I've had it for so many years, and I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I can just get on with things. Other times, so I'll give you an example, right? I went, during the summer, I had to go to Argos to get a wireless dongle for the Mac Pro. Obviously, you guys, if you didn't know, I am on a Mac now, which was something I wished for back in a previous podcast, that I wished that I had the finances to do that. Just a bit of a brief continuation of that, actually. I picked up a 2006 Mac Pro 1.1, and it's been hacked to run up to El Capitan. So I'm running near enough up to the point where I need to run, where the software still all works so far. And it's serving me pretty well. It cost me £90, and it wasn't a bad bargain. It was just round the corner from me. They were selling it because they just previously upgraded their machines. This is so, all I had to do is upgrade the memory, which I have done to 32 gigs instead of 8 that was in there. I've also got another hard drive in there. Obviously, I had to get another hard drive because it had the preloaded version of El Capitan on it. And it's got a new graphics card, so instead of like a crappy GT 7300, it's got a ATI 55 something. Anyways, a 1 gig card, and it runs games quite well for the era, so it's like, it's not too bad. So all of that cost me about £200 of money that I've saved, because my dad's been giving me money to get by because of the debts thing. And yeah, it's not been too bad, really. I can't say anything bad about that. Now, I feel like Ricky Gervais on a stand-up, drinking at the same time, but it's the only way I can get this podcast done, in some sense, because it's the only time really I've got. I've got other things to do during the week. I've got some documents to finish. So yeah. So life never used to be like this. Like, I used to get up every day with a smile and a laugh, and despite the pains of the cerebral palsy, because if you didn't know, I've got that, I used to be fine. Used to go out, used to walk about, used to do everything. And now it's like, I don't want to even go out. And a lot of people have put me in a position where I don't really want to go out. I don't really want to meet anyone. I don't really want to do anything because, the world has, I say the world, but I say people have hurt me so much so far. It's so anxious to go out because of what you've gone through. And there's only so many things you can go through before you go, right, screw it, I'm not going to do it anymore. Pardon me. I'm not going to bother anymore. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And sorry for the burp. I'm leaving that in. I do apologize. But it is what it is. No, I didn't ever say this was a professional podcast, right? I never ever said that from the start. I never ever said that this was going to be something that was going to be the something like a production of professional value. This was my personal advice. So if I burp, fart, whatever, it's staying in there. I'm running this podcast. So yeah, life never used to be like this, and I've tried my hardest over the years to try and suppress the anxiety, to suppress everything, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, they all say about going to a therapist. What's seeing a therapist gonna do? Oh yeah, I'm scared to go out. Yeah, well, what are we gonna do about that? Hey, what are we gonna do about that? I'm scared of people because they've pissed me off. What are we going to do about that? Nothing. Because at the end of the day, you deal with it in the end. I mean, I do know that. Anxiety can be lessened on your own. And I reckon a lot of mine is to do with like self-confidence and stuff. Because going from anorexia, which I was only 7 stone, I'm just shy of 16 stone 7 now. And I think a lot of that was comfort eating, going through bad relationships and trying to deal with other conditions at the same time. No appreciation given from certain people for that. Trying to make everybody happy. And they always say the happiest people are the loneliest people. They always say that. Robin Williams. One of the funniest one of the funniest men on this planet. And he took his own life. It's always the loneliest people who are trying to make everybody else happy. They don't think about themselves because it's at the last minute they think about themselves and they think, what have I really achieved? What have I really done with my life? Everybody else is happy but me. And that's the saddest part about it. No one gives a toss. No one cares. I always say to people, if I died tomorrow, no one would give a fuck. No one would care. Especially the people that say they're friends. They're not going to give a fuck if I die tomorrow. They're not going to care if, I drop down dead. Most of the people that come in contact with me think I'm an arsehole because I say it as it is. But some of the loneliest people who have took their lives are the funniest people in the world. But they were just trying to make everybody else happy. And no one appreciates that. No one gives a toss about that. There's nothing in this world that really can bring the heartbreak back of what goes on in them situations. There were some of the funniest people, and they have killed themselves because they thought it's the end of the road, I can't do anything else. Mad. It's exactly the same situation as me. I try and make everybody happy. And no one cares. No one cares. No one could care less if I dropped down dead. Now, some people, including ex-girlfriends, by the way, might add, they'd be happy that I would be dead. Happy. And probably hoping they get something from my life insurance. Who knows? I don't know. So, I just went on a bit of tangent there. Oh, yeah. I do apologise, guys. Sometimes you gotta let it go. Sometimes you gotta let it off your chest and say what's on your mind. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna cripple you inside if you don't let it out. Because if you don't let it out, you're just gonna fester it all up, which I do. And by the way, my ad lately, I've been suffering with depression a lot because obviously Nan died, and you know, there's other things surrounding that as well, and surrounding my life that I get depressed about. And I get so angry with people because, you know, I feel like everything's in a one-directional way. And I feel like that people are just trying to shit on me from the highest of heights. They're not there to, you know, give you any consolation to your life. They're there to watch you fall. You know, and that's what I need to clear out, and that's what I need to do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this podcast, guys. Don't forget to like it on iTunes if you did like it. Sorry for all the burping and whatever, but this is real life. This is real life. And I think that's what people don't understand. I think people think, oh, this is all made up. This is whatever. But it's real life. Anything I show on camera, anything I do on here, or my music, or anything I touch, books, everything. It's real life. It's not made up. This is what's going on. And that's what people need to understand. So anyway, like it on iTunes and Google. I know we're on the Google Home because I did check. Google Home does have the podcast. So it's all in the feeds there. It's on my website, markcorn.co.uk or .com. And you can check it out on Twitter. Yeah. So anyway, guys, see you later. See you in the next episode. Take it easy.